Hello everyone. Today's topic is about extreme poverty in Africa. Africa is the poorest continent in the world. Poverty remains a persistent challenge across Africa, where an astonishing 450 million people sadly live below the poverty line. That's more than 30% of Africa's total population of 1.45 billion. However, when we talk about extreme poverty in Africa, it's important to recognize that only a handful of African countries actually account for the majority of extremely poor Africans. So in this video by Africa Rebound, we spotlight the top 5 African nations with the highest number of people in extreme poverty, based on the current estimated figures. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing for similar insights on Africa's economic development issues. Let's make this a countdown, shall we, from number 5 to number 1. At number 5 is Mozambique, with 24 million people living in extreme poverty, about 71% of its population. Recurrent cyclones, floods, and an insurgency in the Cabo Delgado region have compounded Mozambique's economic struggles. Efforts to tap into Mozambique's natural gas reserves for economic development have faced delays due to instability and global market fluctuations. Next at number 4 is Tanzania, with about 28 million people living in extreme poverty, despite the country's steady economic growth of around 5% annually in recent years. The benefits of growth, driven by mining, tourism, and infrastructure projects, remain unevenly distributed, particularly in rural areas, where poverty is most concentrated. Multi-dimensional poverty indicators highlight inadequate access to clean water, education, and healthcare. Rapid population growth also strains Tanzania's resources, slowing poverty alleviation efforts. At number 3 is Ethiopia, with 41 million people living below the $2.15 per day threshold. While Ethiopia experienced rapid economic growth in the past decade, poverty reduction has stalled due to conflicts, including the Tigray War, and frequent droughts that devastate agricultural productivity. Over 80% of Ethiopians rely on agriculture, leaving many vulnerable to climate shocks. Although urban areas are growing rapidly, offering better services and jobs, the rural regions lag significantly behind. Government policies aimed at industrialization and education reforms have shown promise, but require sustained investment to bring long-term change. In the second position is the Democratic Republic of Congo, or DRC, which is home to 62 million people living in extreme poverty, accounting for over 65% of its population. This staggering figure underscores decades of political instability, corruption, and violent conflicts that have devastated the nation's development prospects. DRC is probably the most economically exploited country in the world. Despite its wealth of natural resources, including copper and cobalt, the benefits go mainly to Western and Asian corporations and rarely reach the local population. The lack of infrastructure, especially in rural areas, limits access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. The DRC's high population growth further complicates poverty reduction efforts. At number 1 is Nigeria, which leads the continent in terms of extreme poverty, with approximately 87 million people, about 40% of its population, living below the poverty line. Despite being one of Africa's largest economies, Nigeria faces deep structural challenges. Its reliance on oil revenue means economic fluctuations hit the poor hardest. High inflation rate, high unemployment rate, and weak infrastructure exacerbate the situation. Rural communities are particularly vulnerable due to poor education and healthcare systems. Efforts like social investment programs have been introduced, but implementation remains limited. These 5 nations, Nigeria, Congo DRC, Ethiopia, Tanzania, and Mozambique, are collectively responsible for more than 50% of extremely poor people in Africa, and highlight the complex drivers of extreme poverty in Africa, including conflict, climatic vulnerability, over-reliance on natural resource exports, lack of effective economic development, limited domestic value addition, as well as weak national governance. Addressing these challenges requires targeted agricultural and industrial policies, including investments in education, healthcare, technology learning, and infrastructure, as well as economic diversification and value addition to create sustainable livelihoods for millions. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, please share to spread the awareness. And if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing for similar insights on Africa's economic development issues.